Hey now, ladies and gentlemen. Hey now, hey now, hey now, hey now, hey now, hey now, hey now. Our number 3 of the line, Talk 99.5, Talk995.com, Andrew McLain, who.com, and on the YouTube, Real Talk 99.5 TV. Make sure you check us out and check out our podcast from last night with Alex Stein, Primetime 99, Pimp on a Blimp.
Yeah, baby.
It was good. John Bird got naked at one point.
Stop. Shh.
Well, and not all the way naked. He just, every time the camera would pan to him, he'd take another piece of clothes off during the Alex Stein.
Yeah,
chat.
Alex picked up on it pretty quick.
Yeah, he did. He's like, oh, I like that. Showing a little nip. Yeah, buddy.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Why do I do these things?
I don't know, man. That's just who you are, buddy. That's just who you are. But anyway, if you want to get in, you know how to do it. Oh, find us Over the Line, Andrew McLain. You can look that up on YouTube and find it. Make sure you subscribe. You can watch it later. Whatever. A lot of good stuff on there. 600. I think that was our 601th video that we've posted on that channel.
Wow.
Yeah. No, 602. We're at 602 now.
Crazy.
602 videos. So y'all hook that up, man. Get our subscriber numbers up. They're going up every day, and we like it. We like it a lot, a lot. If you want to get in, 205-545-9950. I'll bring you in on the phone line. Boomer's up next. What's up, Boomer?
Hey, bro, I am exactly with you. And the only way that the Senate and Congress is going to pass is if we go ahead and do away with the filibuster right now, this week. Get rid of the filibuster, pass all of Trump's agendas, and right before the primaries, reinstate the filibuster.
Yeah, I mean, here the fear for Republicans are, what are the consequences of eliminating the filibuster going to be? They're scared that the Democrats will take power and then there's no filibuster. Well, here's the thing. They're going to do it anyway. So you need to get it done.
Exactly. So why not go ahead and pull the trigger first? You know, and like I said, reinstate it right before the primaries and make them do it. Because if you do it right before the primaries, then after the election's done, you'll see how the House is tilted. And if it's still in your favor, in our favor, let it rock and roll so we can keep on going, you know.
Yep.
And don't reinstate it, you know. And this is exactly what needs to be done. They know that, but it's like you said, you know, you got your fence walkers. But I mean, this is what we vote for. So pick up the phone, call your congressmen, call your senators, and tell them end the filibuster, pass Trump's agenda before the general election.
Yeah, there's a lot of fence walkers. Some of them actually don't even walk the fence. Some of them like to sit on the fence post, kind of like Lindsey Graham.
And do squats on it.
Yeah, Lindsey Graham likes the fence post. It's very nice.
Andrew.
All right, Boomer. Good
love
point.
Y'all. God bless.
Thank you, buddy. Good to hear from you. Love you long time. Yeah, it's just, you know, here's the thing. Is that if it doesn't get done, nothing else matters. Here's part 2 of it. Here's what: pass the SAVE Act by any means necessary, then create an illegal alien hall of shame. America is shocked, outraged, and disgusted by Epstein, rightfully so. Here's how to tie that outrage to mass deportation. It's time to win with the PR offensive. And this is what I was talking about at the beginning. It's time to show the American people why mass deportation is the only way to protect their children. Tie it all back to Epstein. Illegal immigration is Epstein times millions. America sees one 9-year-old child abused and sexually assaulted by Epstein, and they freak out, as well they should. They see hundreds of underage girls pimped out by Epstein to the most powerful people in the world, and the nation freaks out, as they should. But every hour of every day, thousands of young children are assaulted, abused, raped, and murdered, all because of open borders, all because of illegal immigration, transnational gangs, and drug cartels. That's their business. That's what they do. The cartels make billions of dollars per week on sex trafficking, on child sex trafficking, on pedophilia, and the drug trafficking that's killing our children by the hundreds of thousands. Create the illegal alien hall of shame, pay for hundreds of millions of dollars of TV ads between now and the midterms, showing mugshots of illegal aliens who traffic, abused, assaulted, raped, and murdered little girls and boys. Shocking, I know. But that's what you need to do in the lead up to the midterms. Because everybody is all in the Epstein stuff and all about this person or that person was trafficking young women, underage girls. Well, let's show them the thousands of underage girls and underage boys that suffered that same fate, maybe even worse. Show them the mugshots of these individuals and show their crimes, explain their crimes. Show the parents of the children who were murdered, assaulted, and abused, telling their stories in these commercials. And have them thanking President Trump and ICE for arresting these monsters. Because that is Epstein times millions. Prove it with show and tell. Show the monster. Show the parents of rape and murder victims. Call it the illegal alien hall of shame or whatever you want to call it. Put the stories front and center 24/7 from now until the midterms in front of the American people. Make the case that we are deporting millions of Epsteins who want to abuse, assault, rape, and murder and destroy your children with drugs. Be aggressive. Take the offensive. Create the momentum while you work on exploding the economy, Mr. President, and making our jobs, GDP, and retirement accounts great again. This is what American voters care about, the economy and the crimes of illegals. Tie it all back to Epstein. And pass the damn SAVE Act. Do it this week. Do it tomorrow. Do it yesterday. It's got to be done. Prove you're the greatest deal maker in history. That's what I got. That's what Donald Trump needs to do. Twist every arm. Make deals wherever deals need to be made. It's not like our taxpayer dollars aren't wasted day in and day out. If there's a stupid little project some idiot like Tom Massey wants, give it to him. I don't care. Pass the damn SAVE Act. Otherwise, nothing else matters. Nothing. 205-545-9950. Bubba says Jay Bizzle should take his shirt off right now. Guaranteed to increase the YouTube numbers.
And I got to lose some more weight before I do that.
Which would go from YouTube to BoobTube.
No, not boob tube. What are you saying?
Well, I'm saying everybody's got boobs. Some are bigger than others.
They're called pecs for men.
Pecs tube. Which sounds like something that was made by Pfizer.
Yes, it does.
Pecs tube. 205-545-9950. Let's hit this break. We'll come back on the other side. More coming up right after this. Hang tight. Does all this stuff with Nancy Guthrie, does it boost up the price of Bitcoin or no? I know that's not the priority here, but for those in the market, like
I can't wait for the Netflix special to come out.
it's actually down 3.5% today. So it's becoming less valuable, I guess.
So you saying I got a shot at buying some?
Yeah, man. As that thing keeps going down, you need to snatch it. All you need is one Bitcoin. If you can afford one Bitcoin, you got it made. Got it made. All right, 545-9950. Let me go to Dan next. Dan, how are you?
Doing quite well, heading down to Biloxi with some extra money that I received from my president with his policies. My investments are doing quite well.
Nice.
And I feel very safe because I know my borders are secure. It's a great feeling to have extra cash to be able to go spend it, unlike the previous administration. And I'm going to have a big time with my beautiful wife of 39 years. We're on the way down there. And then from there, we're going to New Orleans because we can afford it, because our president is putting money in my pocket. Now, with that said, all positive, I agree with you 100%. Get these policies voted in. Let's not wait, okay? The filibuster, they're going to do it. I guarantee it when they get power back. If you want Joe Biden's administration and policies and the way your money was not making any money, it's going to be on steroids if they get the power back. All his president Trump is trying to do is, it's very corny, but make America great again, and everybody's prospering. Even the people that hate this country are prospering in their investments because our president's making it happen.
100%. And I've talked to these individuals who suffer from Trump derangement syndrome, and they, even though they are prospering from this, they're benefiting from Trump policies. They still have a hard time admitting it, but it doesn't matter if they admit it or not. They're benefiting from it. Maybe it changes some hearts over time, but the number one thing is you cannot trust these Democrats on Capitol Hill. Can't trust them whatsoever.
No.
They will supercharge everything they did over the 4 years of Biden, unlike anything we have ever seen if they gain power again anytime soon.
To get their power, even if it hurts themselves, they're going to do it. How do you deal with somebody like that, okay? So the bottom line is this, everybody. Please, sit back, look at your investments, look how your life is, look how your friends' lives are. And if everybody's doing a lot better, go in and vote the right way. And I've always told my kids, listen, I'm not going to tell you how to vote. You vote what you want to vote for. You're a grown adult. And even my grandchildren, I say, listen, take time to investigate both sides and what benefits you and this country. Then go vote.
Amen. Amen to that. Couldn't have said it any better.
All right.
Thanks,
See you
Dan.
later, fellas.
Appreciate it. Look at Dan heading to Mardi Gras, man. Come
Ready to
on.
party.
Yeah, I like it. I like it. And people got extra money in their pockets, man. Ain't no doubt about it. If you've filed your taxes, you've probably seen that. I haven't filed mine yet, but, you know, may go ahead and get on top of it. Just see what the result is, especially for those of you out there that have been busting your tail day in and day out, working overtime and everything. You might be getting a pleasant surprise. And that's the people that actually deserve it the most. So it's going to you instead of back into the pockets of the politicians or some stupid leftist project that they've been cramming down your throat for years and years and years. Also, other good things that are going to be happening are these Obama-era climate rules. If Trump does what he is currently signaling he is going to do, this will be the largest act of deregulation in the history of the U.S., and it will also be another example of people across the board, despite your political affiliations, benefiting from it. Back in 2009, the Wall Street Journal, according to the Wall Street Journal, the so-called endangerment finding of 2009 that labeled 6 greenhouse gases as a threat to the public health and welfare are going to be overturned by the Trump administration. This is, again, Obama-era regulations on greenhouse gases. The finding gave the Environmental Protection Agency, back during Obama, legal authority to limit emissions from power plants and vehicles. In the move that in the final rule is expected by Trump to be made public this week, according to the Wall Street Journal. They said the rule removes the regulatory requirements to measure, report, certify, and comply with federal greenhouse gas emission standards for motor vehicles and repeals associated compliance programs, credit provisions, and reporting obligations for industries, citing administration officials it did not name as part of the report, blah, 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 blah. The new rule will not directly overturn regulations on power plant emissions, but could be a first step in that direction. You think about what's happened to the vehicle industry and how expensive cars are, all the stupid bells and whistles, if you will, that get put on your car. The one thing I hate on my car the most is that stupid button I got to push every time so my car don't cut off at a freaking red light. I hate that. I don't want my car to have to restart and crank up 50 times just to drive 6 or 7 miles through the city. That stuff's going to be gone. Different emissions that are making your cars more expensive, or different regulations about emissions that are making your car more expensive, going to be gone. Forcing green energy crap down your throat, going to be gone. And when those regulations on power plant emissions are eventually taken out, your energy's going to be cheaper. And it's going to be more abundant. How about that? Isn't that nice? Doesn't that affect everybody? Let's go with more nuclear power. I love nuclear power, by the way. If you understand, if you go watch a video on how nuclear power plants work, it's absolutely fascinating, but also somewhat simple. You're just taking uranium and sticking them in tubes, putting them underwater, and letting them shake around and heat up and split atoms, and it creates electricity. It's pretty wild. And we've got enough of that stuff to last us forever. I mean, forever. For 200 years from now, but we've got untapped reserves all over the place, including in the ocean, that nobody's even touched. Uranium's put on this earth in order to, do something with it. So let's do it. Get rid of the emissions crap. Start saving people money. Let them live how they want to live. And let's all move on. That's it. All of that, that's the kind of stuff that's on the line when it comes to letting Democrats win, when it comes to not passing the SAVE Act. There's no time to waste. It's February now. We got elections in November. You got to start it now. I shouldn't be the one to put the campaign strategy together for Republicans. But it's simple. It doesn't take rocket scientists to figure this out. Pass the SAVE Act. Create the illegal alien hall of shame. Do whatever you got to do. Show the American public. Y'all know how important the PR game and the narrative battle is. I've talked about it time and time again. If you don't win that, you don't win nothing. But also, if you don't pass the SAVE Act, you don't win nothing. That's just the way it's going to be. Richard the Cop up next. Richard, what's up, buddy?
Y'all were talking about the taxes and overtime and tips and all that a while ago. I got laid off my full-time day job in November, but up to the end of November, my tax lady told me the other day I had a shade over $9,000 in overtime last year, which I ain't got to pay nothing on, thank you God, President Trump. Add my Uber and my Lyft in, I had $2,000. Hold on. I had $2,000 worth of somebody on speaker of tips last year that are coming off my taxes. Okay?
Okay.
So the people that are griping and the people that are moaning need to understand that if you don't like it, go ahead and send them the money anyway. Tell your tax person not to give you those deductions. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Send it back to the IRS.
If you want to be stupid, let's call it the stupid tax. Because I'm telling you, it's going to bring a lot. I know my refund is looking really good. She's still having to add up numbers because we know when you keep every oil change, every tire, every snack, everything for when you're working as a deduction because you can. My envelope cost me $30 to send it to her in Texas to do my taxes.
Mm.
So take advantage of what's there. If you're that blind and that much of a denier and that sick with TDS, if you can't afford to move out the country, just go ahead and pay an extra $10 for everything you buy.
Most of the people they're suffering from that could really use the extra money, but they're too blind to see that they're working against their own self-interest.
Well, mental health meds cost money. So, yeah, I understand what you're saying. But I'm pulling up to somebody's put a body in the car. Y'all have a good day, boys.
All right, cuz. There's Richard the cop. I thought he had a passenger in the back screaming. You know, I don't know if you know this, John Bird, but Richard the cop, he does Uber and Lyft. And so he's always on the road.
Ah,
Yeah, that's what he's doing these days.
he might have somebody back there. Probably a big fan. And they're screaming, oh, my gosh, I can't believe it.
Well, based on how he talks when he calls in, most of them are just people that smell like weed, and he makes them ride with the windows down the whole time. I've got a million Uber stories, which we've, even back when you were on the show, we've talked about. I haven't talked about them in a while. Maybe we should at some point revisit those.
Yes.
Probably wouldn't hurt. Probably wouldn't hurt to do that. We'll see. We'll wait on the right day for it. More legislation. I'm just going through some boring legislation here. The Omar Act to deal with corruption in Congress. As you know, Ilhan Omar and her husband are running a shell company, claiming it to be a winery, and it pretty much does not exist. Her value, her net worth has gone up to like $5 million. What the Omar Act is going to do, and this was put in by Republican members of Congress, Representatives Tom Tiffany and Tony Wyde, both Republicans from Wisconsin. The Omar Act would prevent campaign funds from benefiting spouses of lawmakers and require the candidates to disclose any payments made to immediate family. I think that's a fantastic idea, and it's good that you name it after Ilhan Omar because, again, she shelled out $2.8 million to a political consulting firm owned by, guess who? Her husband in 2019 and 2020. Chuck Davis, bringing you this part of the show. ChuckDavisLaw.com. That's L-A-W. Law. A man of the law. Is actually a man of the law would be a police officer. This would be an attorney. My attorney in particular, I would not be telling you about an attorney if I didn't know who he was. I wouldn't just be telling you about a random person. I know Chuck. I know him personally, and I know him professionally. He's done work for me multiple times.
Yeah, he's gotten you out of jail so many times. He's a great guy.
Yes, he is a good guy. He's a good guy that sticks up for me. And at the end of the day, if you're dealing with things like personal injury, slip and falls, wrongful death, car wrecks, if you're dealing with divorce and custody, that's the one I hear from y'all the most. And I hate that right around Valentine's Day, but it happens. Chuck Davis is going to be the one to get you squared away. You're gonna, even when you talk to Chuck, if you got to ask him questions or whatever, you're going to feel better about the situation when you walk away. He's going to be straight up with you. He's going to walk you through the process and let you know what's feasible, what's possible, what's not possible, so on and so forth. But you getting your answers, and you've got the guy that you want on your side. Same thing with probate contracts and wills. Get those wills done, man, for your parents, your grandparents, yourself. If you haven't had a will done yet, go ahead and do it, man. You don't want your family fighting over your crap after you're gone. So there's been Chuck told me, he's like, I've seen so many like just absolute horror stories when it comes to family fighting over things because a loved one didn't put a will together. So don't let that pass you by. 205-823-9992. That's 205-823-9992. But online, ChuckDavisLaw.com. No representation is made that the legal services provided are superior to the legal services provided by other lawyers. Kenny on the text line said, I missed yesterday's show due to a doctor appointment. What was the big announcement? John Bird, do you want to tell him?
I'm back.
John Bird is back in the house, baby. Hey now. We're going to be making that announcement all week because people are going to have to be jumping in and out. And there may even be new people. I mean, we're talking about over the span of a year, there's probably new people in the mix that don't even remember you, which is crazy to think about, that somebody doesn't know John Bird. Good Lord.
That's okay. Sometimes I don't know myself.
Jason says, been out of pocket for a couple of weeks. I missed yesterday's announcement. What was it? John Bird, do you want to? No, it's not really what he said. He said, I hear my Birdman talking. Glad you're back, brother. Now the show is worth listening to.
Oh, no. No, don't you dare you take it back.
Those people are out there. I get it. He's probably just kidding anyway.
He is. He jokes.
Are all the mail ladies back for John Bird, says Scott. I don't think the mail ladies left. They just weren't as active. And so now it's kind of like mating season, and now they're all active again.
They're ready to deliver my mail. If you know what I mean? Oh, my gosh. Stop it, John.
If you know what I mean. Oh, my God. That is so offensive. 205-545-9950. We have a live stream of the hearing going on with Pam Bondi on Capitol Hill, just for the sake of argument, as I always say. We can do that with what you got. Let's go to that live if we've got it.
Yes, Congressman. 100% increase in violent crime arrest in 2025 compared to 2024.
What's that done to the violent crime rate in the country?
It's plummeting. 1,800 gangs.
Wait a second. Do you mean to honestly tell us, and you're under oath, that if we take violent criminals off the streets, we end up with less crime?
I certainly hope so, Congressman, and that's our goal, and that's
an
President
extraordinary concept, and I'm afraid it may be lost on some of our Democratic colleagues. I look at these numbers, and they're absolutely staggering. It didn't happen by accident. It happened because of specific policies that you've implemented this year. And you mentioned a few of them. Would you continue?
Over 6,000 child victims located, 22% increase. Over 1,700 child predators arrested, 10% increase. Over 300 human traffickers arrested. Let me jump down to DEA right now. That was just FBI. under Terry Cole's leadership. And I talk to these people almost daily, our directors, and the amazing work that they're doing in all of your jurisdictions on the left and the right, working together to take drugs off our streets.
Right, and I assume that our Democratic colleagues, some of whom represent some of our most crime-plagued cities and communities, have thanked you for this extraordinary accomplishment.
Thank you, Congressman. We've seized more than 9,800 kilos of fentanyl and 47 million fentanyl pills. That affects every single person in this room. It doesn't matter what political party you are. People, everyone in this room knows someone who's died from fentanyl. A parent, a child, a sister, a brother, a friend, a neighbor, a relative. Everyone here knows someone who has been impacted by that. That is the common ground that I wish we could find to work together in this country, to take these drugs off the streets. And someone nodded with vapes.
Well, in your opening statement, you said that this historic success in protecting the lives and property of Americans has occurred when local governments have cooperated with you.
Yes.
Let me ask you, what are the greatest impediments you're facing in bringing down crime across the country?
Well, when local governments, of course, do not cooperate with us, and that's where criminals flee, in jurisdictions where they know they will be protected by local governments. And this is all about working together, and we have shown that in what we did in D.C., what we're doing in Memphis, working together with Democrat mayors in these cities right here in D.C.
And very quickly, if you could tell us about the Safe Cities program and give us your read on what cities that avail themselves of this program can expect?
Yes, so far, of course, we've been working in Washington, D.C., right here to do everything we can, working hand in hand with the mayor, with Metro PD, to keep everyone safe in D.C., and it's been a tremendous effort. And now we're in Memphis, working with the mayor in Memphis, as we talked about earlier, doing everything we can. These are iconic cities in our country, and we want to help every city in this country who wants and asks for President Trump's help to make America safe again.
Gentlemen,
Mr. Chair, I have, you see.
let the record show that Democrat was applauding the Attorney General's answer there. The unanimous consent?
Yes, please.
All right, the gentlelady is recognized.
Mr. Chair, I have a few unanimous consent requests. I would like to submit into the record this New York Times article titled "Alex Pretty's Friends and Family Denounce Sickening Lies About His Life." I also would like to submit this Daily Mail exclusive interview with Vice President J.D. Vance titled "J.D. Vance Refuses to Apologize to Alex Pretty's Family After Spreading ICE Assassin Claim." One more. My last submission request is a New York Times article titled "FBI Agent Who Tried to Investigate ICE Officer in Shooting Resigns."
Without objection.
Thank you.
The chair now recognizes the gentlelady from North Carolina.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Attorney General Bondi, I think you and pretty much everybody else here and throughout the country believes that convicted sex offenders don't deserve special treatment or privileges in prison. And yet, Ghislaine Maxwell, Jeffrey Epstein's co-conspirator, received perk after perk in prison. In July, she had a 2-day interview with your deputy and President Trump's former defense attorney, Todd Blanche. Just days after that, Maxwell was transferred from a federal correctional institution in Florida to a minimum security camp in Texas, which she, as a sex offender, would normally be ineligible for. At this new facility, as the ranking member talked about, and by the way, it's nicknamed Club Fed, we've heard reports that she's been afforded special privileges: puppy time, private workouts, personal mail, secretarial services. Attorney General Bondi, does a convicted sex offender like Ghislaine Maxwell deserve special treatment and privileges in prison? Yes or no?
Let me be crystal clear on this. No. And
Thank you.
Let me keep going. No, let me keep going.
Perfect. Well, I
did not know she was being transferred.
I asked you yes or no.
She was not transferred to a lower
Mr. Chairman,
level.
please stop the clock and remind the witness of the rules. One rule she needs to understand
and I'm glad
here.
that we're agreeing. So when we're agreeing, we can move on to some other things.
When
but
we're
I
not
want you to
agreeing.
know that every time she does get these perks, and it's been publicly reported, that the folks she's abused, the survivors who are sitting here, they see themselves as being denied justice. They feel re-traumatized. And I'm glad that we agree on that. But she should not be in that prison. And she needs to be moved back to a maximum security prison as soon as possible. But what she has told another committee here is that she won't cooperate with them unless she gets clemency from Donald Trump. It's just crazy to consider that she can be wielding this kind of influence within the administration. But that begs the question, who ordered her to be transferred to the minimum security prison that she was ineligible for? Who signed off on the special privileges? Was it Mr. Blanche? Was it one of your other subordinates? So please, can you tell us who sent her there, since you don't agree she should be there?
I said I do not agree she should receive special treatment. She was transferred, I learned after the fact, to the same level facility, and that is a question for the Bureau of Prisons. I was not involved in that at all. The same level facility, I don't know why, but you know, instead of talking about Ghislaine Maxwell, who hopefully will die in prison, you should be talking about Irina Zarutska.
I have a couple of
died on a subway.
Right, and I absolutely...
You don't talk about that.
I have been talking about it and actually helping with these issues. But we're gonna move back to you.
I bet we are.
Yes, of course, because you're here to testify. That's what the whole point of this endeavor is. So of course we're moving back to you. It is all about you. So as we've heard, she took the fifth in response to every single question in that committee hearing. And her lawyer dangled the offer of clemency. Should Donald Trump pardon or commute her sentence? Should she be released from prison, yes or no? You said you hope she dies there, so I'm hoping the answer is no.
I already answered that question.
Good. I'm very glad. I really like this bipartisan agreement about
when
what
it
should
agrees
happen
with you. But you don't want to talk about Irina Zarutska. You don't want to talk about
I talk about her
murdered
all
by
the
a
time,
violent crime
but I am not here to testify before Congress. You are. That is your job today. That's what you're getting paid for.
With attack.
I want you to know that your own DOJ employee, he's recently been demoted and had some other problems, advises on pardons. Do you think he will be advising Mr. Trump on any kind of clemency or pardon for Ghislaine Maxwell?
I'm not going to speculate, and you couldn't even identify properly. That's why you don't want to talk about Irina Zarutska. You couldn't properly identify her relative.
I absolutely
it's embarrassing.
Have been, and her family, by the way, appreciates all of the condolences, all of the help, everything that our law enforcement in North Carolina has been doing to help her family. Her family feels well treated. Thank you, and I yield back.
Gentlelady yields back. Gentleman from California is recognized.
I'd ask unanimous consent to enter into the record an article by former Attorney General William P. Barr entitled, "Why Pam Bondi Didn't Publish All the Epstein Files in 30 Days." The answer is simple. It was not possible, from the Wall Street Journal.
Well said. Without objection, the gentlelady from Florida is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Madam,
I'm sorry. Yes. May I respond 20 seconds to something that Congresswoman Ross said?
Go right ahead.
Thank you. She also opposed a sex offender registry as head of North Carolina ACLU. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Attorney General. And I'd like to pick up where you left off
a
moment ago.
I'll give Pam Bondi this. She knew what was going to come at her in this hearing, and she got the stats on all the Democrat lawmakers to talk about all the hypocritical things they've done as they sit on their perch and act all high and mighty. So good for her, I guess. You know, I mean, Pam Bondi's not necessarily our favorite, but if you're going up against the Democrats, I'm with you. I'm with you on that, buddy. 205-545-9950. More line coming up right after this. Oh, just to piggyback off the Ilhan Omar Act, the fallout continues in Minnesota. There's one whistleblower who's now going on record saying that she was subject to a smear campaign after reporting her concerns to the state, saying she was even accused of being racist because she was calling out the Somali fraud in Minnesota. If you call out fraud, you're racist, though, because fraud is a race, apparently, and you're speaking out against it. Fox reports a Minnesota Department of Human Services whistleblower said she has been raising red flags about fraud in the state since 2019, but has faced only unyielding retaliation in response, calling Tim Walz's assertion that he was unaware of the problem absolutely false. Faye Bernstein is her name. She's worked for Minnesota's DHS for 2 decades in contract management and compliance, said she was subject to a smear campaign for trying to make leadership aware of illegal contracting practices. Said she was called racist and that her work responsibilities were diminished. She said there is just a continuous effort to stifle you, to shut you up, and it is impossible to overcome. Federal prosecutors estimate up to $9 billion was stolen through a network of fraudulent fronts, posing as daycare centers, food programs, and health clinics. The majority of those charged so far in the ongoing investigation are part of Minnesota's Somali population. Man, what a racket. What a moneymaker to get into, Coles. All right, we've got Pam Bondi and Cohen. Is that Cohen from Tennessee squaring off? Let's go back live to Capitol Hill with the Pam Bondi hearing. Here we go.
State AG, and actually back when I was a state prosecutor prior to being Attorney General. That is so important. I feel like what we've been doing in D.C. too, with the Take Back D.C. and Make D.C. Safe Again, is similar to that. Going into the neighborhoods, working with the community, seeing law enforcement officers out there playing basketball with kids who live in the neighborhood. It's pretty remarkable what we've seen firsthand. Citizens in Memphis saying that they can walk outdoors now and they feel safe. People coming up thanking law enforcement and working hand in hand with them. We will continue all of these programs and working jointly with both sides of the aisle to keep our families safe.
Thank you for that, Madam Attorney General. Mr. Chairman, I yield back.
Gentlelady yields back. Gentleman from Tennessee is recognized.
I'd like to introduce for the record a letter to Director Gabbard from Mr. Warner and Mr. Himes, and a letter of response from her to them about who invited her to Atlanta, and a copy of the search warrant. And I'd also like to just make clear for the record, the reason people in Memphis weren't going out was because the ice was on the ground and we were afraid we'd fall. But other than that, we go out all the time.
Gentlemen, without objection, there's unanimous consent. The gentlelady from Vermont is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Okay, what an
Attorney
idiot.
General Bondi, according to your
Because it is,
department-
listen, it's 100% true that people, especially in the hood, we're talking about like, hey, we can actually go outside and walk to the store. We can let our kid ride our bikes out here nowadays, since they sent the National Guard in to start cleaning up some of that stuff, and I started hemming up some of these Trenday. You remember how bad Trenday Aragua was in Memphis? And the representative from Tennessee, what a dweeb this guy is, says, no, they weren't going outside because there was ice on the ground. What a doofus. What a doofus. I saw a groundbreaking, this doesn't have anything to do with that, but a groundbreaking video today. James O'Keefe, OMG Media, in his latest undercover sting project, confronts the former Project Veritas board member, Matthew Tiermond, in what can only be described as an explosive undercover video. This one is pretty big. For anybody that's followed James O'Keefe from Project Veritas to what he's doing now, this is a pretty big one. I'll explain some of it to you when we get back. I continue to get text messages, John Bird, about JB plays the guitar. And we have yet to give any information on that, if we're going to start it back up or if we're going to, move on to something else. What's your thoughts on that?
I would like to try to change it up a little bit and do John Bird plays the spoons.
Hello! John Bird plays the spoons.
There we go.
Let's go.
Yeah. No. I mean, we can, we can continue doing it, and we'll need to start, tomorrow, because we do the Thursday, Friday, and then Monday we announce the song.
Okay, so John Bird plays the guitar. The official act of playing the guitar will start a week from Friday.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's what we'll do. And for those of y'all that remember how this works, we would usually take suggestions from the audience, jot them all down. We would have a special picker of the week that would pick a top 4, and then you, the audience, would take to social media to vote on which one of those 4 you want.
Right.
And so what will happen is we will start the voting. So we'll get the suggestions on a Thursday.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
We'll make the picks on Friday, or we'll announce the top 4 on Friday.
Right.
And then you guys can vote, and we'll cut the voting off, Friday at whatever? When do you want to cut the voting
Friday
off?
at 5. How about that?
Friday at 5. All right, so they can vote until 5. So we'll have to announce the songs first thing on Friday to give people a few hours to catch it on social media and vote for it. So, well, there you go. Hey, that's big. John Bird plays guitar is officially back. Hey now. So tomorrow will be the first installment of moving towards John Bird plays the guitar.
Mm-hmm.
We'll take the suggestions. We can do it at 12 o'clock or something.
Noon. Yeah, I was going to say noon would be good.
And then Friday you'll have your top 4, and then Monday you'll know what it is.
Yep.
Hey now. I'm telling you, everybody constantly messaged me about, I wish JB was back. I miss John Bird plays the guitar.
Oh,
that segment was a hit. It was a hit, dude. All right, hour number 4 coming up next. Don't you go anywhere.